You hear that rumble and rattle. Here they come out of turn number 3 into turn 4. Bradbury has a green flag. And it's out. Green flag is in the air. All cars make it out of turn number 2, and it's Harris down the backstretch. Here comes Sherwood to the outside, down to the start finishing line. Oh, we got a couple cars around. 3 cars around, in fact. It looks like the 15 of Frucci is stopped. The 25R John Ramsey. Here comes Harris now into 3 and 4. And the green is out. Craig Harris with a good start. He's going to lead a charge in turn number 1. Brian Sherwood to his outside as they exit turn 2. Sherwood door to door now with Harris, who's stuck on the inside. Out of turn number 4, it's going to be Harris. Sherwood and Papin leading the first lap here in the Mayflowers 50. Harris now going to try to settle in, but Joe Papin closing the door is going to leave him hanging up on the outside of the track. Sherwood now in the battle with Papin for that second spot. They're tire to tire. Craig Harris making that car 2 lanes wide. And now Sherwood fight back on the outside. Papin giving charge on the inside. It's a 3-car battle for the lead. Taylor Caprera's riding 4th, and Jeff Pringle up to the 5th position. Papin still hanging tough on the outside. Sherwood showing some muscle on the outside of the speedway. And they'll be in the lap traffic here in a couple laps as they encounter the 33 of Green, and he stays nice and wide, gives them plenty of room. Oh, Sherwood has to cut off Papin a bit. And the 33 is going to go pit road. Single file now. It is Harris, Sherwood, and Papin, your top 3. Caprera sitting in 4th, and Pringle rounding out your top 5. Single file throughout the field. And Craig Harris is your pace setter. Coming out of turn number 4, Sherwood gives a look to the inside, backs out of it. He might have had a run, but he thought wisely. Down the backstretch, Sherwood's on the bumper of Harris. The entrance of turn number 3 and 4, and Sherwood is still hanging tough on the outside. Looks like he can put that car high or low. Papin now starting to fight back on the inside. Sherwood still is hanging tough on the outside. Craig Harris has that number 1 machine stuck to the bottom of the racetrack. Papin sitting in 3rd, just waiting for his opportunity. Here comes Sherwood now. He starts to pull up to the outside of Harris. He's door to door into turn number 3, out of turn 4. Sherwood with a head of steam down the front stretch. Sherwood now tire to tire as they exit turn number 2. Sherwood starting to flex the muscle with 10 laps in the book. We might have a lead change here shortly.
It is a torrid battle up front between Craig Harris, Brian Sherwood, and Joe Papin as they are battling lap after lap. We have seen Brian Sherwood run on the outside lane here, and now Papin looks to the inside. He almost got that done. Craig Harris got a little bit wide. That carried Sherwood up, and it gave a little bit of room for Papin, but he couldn't make the move. What are they going to do when they get in lap traffic? Jason Rarick, the number 4, is feeling the cars coming up behind him now. And Greg Harris is getting that car pretty wide. Coming off the turn, they come up onto the lap car, and they give each other room the way good drivers do. Craig Harris hanging on to the lead. Brian Sherwood going to go right back at him, trying to get to the outside. And Joe Papin, running a strong 3rd in that Papin Brothers number 3 car. It's a little bit farther back now to some of the other cars that are working their way up through the field. Taylor Caprera running in the number 4th spot. You got the 96 of Jeff Pringle running strong. He's running for Tony Pettinelli. Holding down 6, Dylan Bancroft 7th. And we got some fast drivers back in the field. I said Tony Pettinelli, I had that wrong. That was the lap car of Jason Rarick. And now the 29 of Bancroft gets around him, and the 29 of Hargrave also get around him, followed by Steve Sherwood. We've got Andre Rogie back there and Caden Rogers and Tony Pentinelli all trying to work their way through. Some great racing both at the front and at the back of the pack. Andre Rogie goes underneath the lap car, and that got a little bit hairy, and now Rogie gets by Tony Pentinelli. Rogie's on the march, trying to run down the 23 of Kyle Hart and the number 81. Up front, it continues to be Greg Harrith. Brian Sherwood has settled into the second spot as they are running now 1, 2, 3 single file, but Joe Papin is right there. Coming up on lap traffic, we got a car stop down low. It's Jason Rarick in the number 4. Rarick had some close calls out there. Couple of the leaders made a dive bomb move to get by him right down here in the front stretch. That looked like a disaster in the making.
In the restart zone, green flag is out. Good restart. Down into turn number 1, it's Harrith and Sherwood, neck and neck out of turn number 2. Sherwood staying strong on the outside of the track. But it's going to be Harrith leading this lap. And Sherwood and Papin. Sherwood up in an outside groove, Papin to the inside. Still a 3-car battle here for the 3rd position. A good battle here for 4th between Caprera and Pringle. They are side by side on the exit of turn number 2. Caprera to the inside. He's going to edge ahead of Pringle. Down the backstretch, Caprera still's got this position. Into turn 4 and on the front stretch. It's still a great battle up front. Right now it's controlled by Harrith. And Sherwood has to check up a bit as they enter turn number 1. Got a bit loose. That allows Papin to settle in the 2nd position. So Harrith, Papin, Sherwood, your top 3. Caprera and Pringle round out the top 5. And we'll see if Joe Papin has anything for Craig Harrith. We got a car around. That looks like the 23 of Kyle Hart. We'll see once he gets squared away, but believe it is. Bob Johnson's pace truck will pull off the backstretch. Harrith and Papin coming around into the children's home restart zone. And the green flag is out. Another great start by all of our competitors. Here they go down the backstretch. Harrith's got company on the outside. That is the 3 of Papin. Sherwood now to the inside of the track. He hasn't been there all night. Let's see if he can make some moves. On the low side. Now he hangs Papin up on the high side of the track as he edges off the curbing, pushes Papin up, but Papin gets the spot. So Papin settles in 2nd. Sherwood back into 3rd. Jeff Pringle gets by Taylor Caprera, and here comes Dylan Bancroft. Caprera stuck on the outside. Halfway home, this time by 25 laps in, 25 to go. Craig Harrith, your leader.
And Greg Harrith has a couple of car lengths lead now as they head onto the backstretch with Joe Papin losing a little bit of ground. They start to string him out now just a little bit. Those tires start to interact with the track a little bit more. And some of them are slowing down, but we've got some great racing back here in the middle of the pack. Steve Sherwood to the outside of Joel Hargrave. In the 29, we got Tony Pentinelli to the outside of Caden Rogers. So some pretty good racing from about positions 8 through 12. And Steve Sherwood is staying on the high side. He's got room to duck down low if he wants to, but he is going to keep giving it a try. Chris Finacharo in the number 81. Now looking to get by the number 96 of Steve Sherwood. Got a spinner up there, and it's Dylan Bancroft. Contact with Frucci. Matt Sharkey going around. We got a car up there next to the wall. I don't think he got into the wall, and now the number 23 of Kyle Hart is stopped again. The Bob Johnson pace truck pulls off up in turn 4, and Craig Harrith running where he started this one, in the number 1 spot, in the number 1 car. Contact coming off at turn number 4. Joe Papin got held up there a little bit, and that gives the third place car. A little bit of a run down there as Bancroft on the outside is up next to Sherwood. Sherwood on the inside, Bancroft on the outside. Still a bit of side-by-side action. We got a car headed over into pit road, pulling off here at the end of the front straightaway. Here comes Craig Harris continuing to lead. Papen right behind him. Brian Sherwood running third in the 95. We got trouble right down front here, and a fortunate turn to the left. We're going to have a caution come out for Hargrave in the 29 as the green flag comes out. And once again, Craig Harris gets a good start. Joe Papen on the outside. Brian Sherwood trying to hold on to it down low. Dylan Bancroft into the 29 to the outside of Sherwood, not able to make it stick there. Now to the inside comes Jeff Pringle. Pringle in the 96 has caught up to the 29 of Dylan Bancroft. We got some side-by-side stuff back here. Finacharo on the inside lane. Caprera to the outside of him, and then you got Tony Pettinelli knocking on the door right there. So after you get spots 1, 2, and 3, we've got a boatload of racing here in spots number 3 through 8. Right now it is Jeff Pringle, spots 4 through 8, I should say. Pringle trying to hold on to 4th. Finacharo to the inside. You got Dylan Bancroft to the outside. Somebody didn't tell these guys you can't race on the outside after 30 laps here at the Evans Mills Raceway Park, because they're doing it. Although Tony Pettinelli just took a jump forward. Pettinelli to the inside of Bancroft now. Dylan Bancroft might be wishing he could get down to the inside. He's kind of stuck up there in the 29. Taylor Caprera is moving in. Coming up on lap 35, it is Craig Harris continuing to lead.
3-car battle at the front. Harris, Papen, and Sherwood. They're nose to tail. They've got a good 15-20 car. Oh, Jeff Pringle's off the pace in the 96 on the backstretch. Caution is out. Caution comes out on lap 36 for Jeff Pringle. Did not see what happened to him, but all of a sudden he was off the pace in a hurry. Got a little smoke coming out of the back. That is not a good sign.
Well, that's a driver's worst fear. When it gets pretty hot in there and it's only getting hotter, you saw Jeff Pringle. He was in a hurry to get out of that thing.
Here on the inaugural Mayflowers 50 race. Bob Johnson pace truck pulls off. Harris and Papen picked up the pace a little bit. The green flag is out. And Harris leads him out of turn number 2. Papen riding in second. Sherwood in third. Finacharo and fourth. Pettinelli up to spot number 5 as they settle themselves out. Craig Harris, again, your pace setter, holding off every move from every car behind him. Right now it's Joe Papen knocking on the door. And he is on the bumper of the 1. Brian Sherwood sitting in third. He might be in the best position. Biding his time. We're waiting for the right moment. We've got 37 in the books. And it looks to be a 3-car battle right now at the front of the field. Craig Harris loves these extra lap races. He's always a contender in these longer races. It says it suits his driving style a little bit better. Being patient, taking care of his equipment. He's got 11 laps to go. Can your track champion hold on? He's under heavy pressure from Joe Papen and Brian Sherwood. Here to complete lap number 40. Keith will take you home from here.
It has been Craig Harris since the start of this one, but Joe Papen has caught up. He is right on the Nerf bar of the number 1. Joe Papen driving the number 3, and you got Brian Sherwood. Kevin Warren headed into the pits at the end of the front stretch here. So we drop one more car. Warren had some damage on that car. He kept it going for a while. And they got into single file pretty quick, and right now nobody seems to be wanting to make a move. It is tough at this point in the race to do so. 8 laps to go now. I can tell you right now that Joe Papen is going to give it a shot in that number 3 if he can. He's got Brian Sherwood right behind him, Matt Sharkey and Steve Sherwood at the back of the pack. They're having their own little race down there. And Sharkey has done very well tonight, keeping up with everybody, as has Steve Sherwood. It continues to be Craig Harris down the backstretch. Joe Papin right behind him, and then Brian Sherwood. They have run that way for just about the entirety of this 50-lap race. Brian Sherwood early was up to the outside of Craig Harris several times. He has dropped back to third, and now Joe Papin has seemed to be turning up the wick just a little bit. Does he have enough to get around the number one of Craig Harris? Got some good racing going on back in the pack here between the 29 of Bancroft, Taylor Caprera, and Caden Rogers. They are running 6, 7, and 8. And they are putting on a show out there now. Joe Papin continues to look to the outside. Papin not afraid to get up there. Brian Sherwood not able to take advantage. Sherwood would like to be able to get underneath the three of Papin and maybe steal that spot. Craig Harris would let those guys fight all day long back there, but they have not been able to make a move on the number one. Joe Papin, 24 inches separating his front from the Nerf bar of the number one. We are down to 2 laps to go in the Mayflower Special. Harris hanging on to it. Papin has one more lap to see if he can do something with it. They come out of turn number 4. What's Joe Papin going to do? The white flag is out. Who's it going to be for 6, 7, and 8? That's another spot out there as Dylan Bancroft holding 6 right now. And coming around to take the first checkered flag of the 2024 season, Craig Harris is your winner tonight in the Mayflower 50. Joe Papin, a strong second place finish. Brian Sherwood third, a good start to the year for him. Chris Finacharo, after starting pretty far back, gets up to the 4th place spot. Tony Pettinelli in the number 2 NY, also passed a lot of cars to get up into slot number 5. Dylan Bancroft had a lot of pressure, but he hung on to spot number 6. Then you had the 721 of Taylor Caprera and Caden Rogers. Those guys were bumper to bumper all the way around. Steve Sherwood, and a strong run for the 71. He kept up the speed. Matt Sharkey. He's going to be happy. He always is when he's in victory lane. Craig Harris is down there, and Jay Schimmel will talk to him.
Craig Harris returns to victory lane after all just leading 50 laps in a row. Another day at the office for him. New Vines, Napa, Richardson's and Son, NTC on the side of this. Walton's Auto Service. RB Enterprises. Last year's track champion. Starts off his 24 racing season on the right note. Get unbuckled to get lots of congratulations down here. Here he comes, Evans Mills. Give him a round of applause. Craig Harris. Got a little sweat on him. Had to work a little bit in the car, half an hour or better. Going to get some flowers here around the neck. Well, Craig, congratulations. You know, just another day at the office, 50 laps in a row. You know how it is.
Yeah, thank you, sir. You know, we got to be mindful of these races because we got to use these tires more than 1 week. We were wicked tight middle tonight. Boy, the best in the business were behind me here anyway. And, boy, they better watch out when we get this car good because we're going to be a heck of a lot better. But we held on, did what we had to do. My guy in the horn, Devin, tonight, he helped me out a bunch. But, man, it feels good to be back here.
Boy, if this car wasn't good yet, I hate to see what the rest of the season looks like. Who do you got to thank? Who helps you get here each and every week?
Yeah, I mean, so many people. I was just in the pits earlier talking to these guys about how lucky we are for this deal. Frank Richardson owns the car. Ron Blair. I started here with Ron. That's why I'm here at Evans Mills, is because Ron Blair. And obviously my parents, NTC. Got a couple new names on the car. It's pretty cool. Walton's Auto Service came on this year. New Vines Napa, of course, they're back with us. NTC and you know, just so many people. RPM engines, they were doing a little bit of work with us this winter, and they did a heck of a job. And of course, Lee and Peggy, everybody here. My wife, Harlan Kaysen, I mean, Pat and Annie, Doug's here tonight. There's so many people involved, but it's just, it's cool to start on a good note. We've never been able to start a year on a real high note, so let's keep it rolling, I guess.
All right, congratulations, and go back to Victory Lane.